Well, hey everybody, it's Tom here. Welcome back to my shop. It is like 12 degrees Fahrenheit outside and then it's snowing pretty good. I've already had about 4 inches of snow, so good time to be in the shop and not out there playing. Got the wood stove cranked up. That blower fan you hear in the background is blowing heat in the shop, so sorry about that. Anyways, have an interesting project that came in the door. So let's get over to the workbench and I'll show you what we got. You may have seen this in the background of other videos. So what this is a bandsaw wheel off of a wood bandsaw. This is the upper wheel, so this is like the coast wheel. And apparently the outer rim is not running true to the bore, so they're having issues keeping the blade on the tires. Now we got obviously some issues that we're gonna have to overcome. One is how to hold this rascal, because it's big. It's 22 inches across, and you know there's nothing here to grab on that center hub either side. So she's a big one. I've been cleaning up my big 4-jaw chuck. This is an 18-inch diameter 4-jaw. It's going to be sketchy, but I think I can just hold that wheel. Taking these jaws, I can get about 3 to 4 screw thread engagements, so I hope this is going to be enough. And of course the jaws are sticking way out, which is, you know, not ideal. Sure, got to be mindful of those spinning around. So I think I can hold it. If I can hold it, then we can turn it. That's the biggest obstacle. And with those jaws out, it's going to be over 24 inches. This is a 24-inch swing over the bed. But since this is a gap bed, I think it's going to fit. We take the gap out, then I can get in there. So I just been, like I said, cleaning up that chuck. I still got to do the sides and the back and the D1/8 studs, get all that cleaned up, and I'll get that mounted and see if I can get that bandsaw wheel on and get it dialed in, and then we'll see how bad that bore is. Before I pull the gap, I figured I'd get a baseline here. I know there's some people like, oh my God, you never pull the gap. You'll ruin your lathe. You can't get it back in. Well, it's kind of baloney. It comes with this feature, so why not use it, right? So, if you guys can see that, it's getting washed out. So it's increasing a little bit. It's at about 3 thou. 3.5. So either it's misaligned, or this is nice virgin V-way and the carriage has hardly ever run up here, so it hasn't worn it down, and this is worn down. So let me check that flat over there and see what that's reading. Well, I've got it dialed in. interesting results. Not sure how well you're going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can hold this and it won't wash out. So the outer face, or not outer face, the outer diameter, I mean, I've got it running within, I don't know, what, a couple thou looks like, if I can hold the camera steady, and it seems to be the opposite jaws. You know, it goes from one, we're good, and then, so it may be that this thing is not perfectly round, but that's as good as I can get it. And then you come over here, checking the inner bore. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully it's not washing out. But I mean, it's barely moving, a few tenths maybe. Now the outer bore here is about a couple thou out. So, but still, overall, that's pretty darn good for a bandsaw blade. So I called the customer and I'm like, well, you might have something going on with your saw, because it doesn't seem like this wheel is as bad as you say it is at its throwing, but you know, bandsaw blades. I mean, once you put a rubber tire on here, you know, that thickness is not going to be consistent all the way around, so it basically, it could take up whatever minor run out you got here. But if the OD and the ID are running together, you know, on the money, then like I said, it could be something else in the saw, the shaft is holding this. Let me pull this up here. Can you guys see? So it does have a balancing mark there. Maybe this thing is needing a recheck on the balance of it. You know, I don't have a big balancer where I can hang this thing and check it. So this is going to be the job that never happened. So, oh well. I'll still post the video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Sometimes that's what happens in job shop work. So there's the gap that's missing. Just an interesting thing to note, that those cap head screws are British Standard Whitworth 1/2 inch 12. I would figure they'd be metric. And I don't know if you remember when I made new handles for this machine, these threads were British Standard Whitworth also. So kind of interesting, but yet when you come back here, all these Allen head bolts, you know, those are metric. So we got metric and British Standard Whitworth. Don't even know if we got any SAE on there. This was made early 80s, so I'm surprised that, you know, Taiwan was still using BSW. Figured some of you guys will ask, so let me add this in. So I also checked the inner bore to the outer bore to make sure, you know, they weren't cockeyed, and we're running basically the same. So if you can see that, she drops to about 3 thou. And if I don't know how to do this. That better? Let me see. How about that? I'll try both. Can't tell on the GoPro screen if one's better than the other. Got a little bump right there from rust, I think. Alright, let me turn it on. And then what we'll do, so we'll go to the inside, barrel width, and find the spot here. Flying blind, there we go. So now we're at the same deal. You guys can see that. Zero, one, almost, there you go, there's 2. Let me kill the light. That helps on that. So both bearing surfaces are in line with each other, so they're concentric. So that issue has been eliminated. Just thought I'd add that. Well, I've been doing a little more thinking on this. I'll be curious what you guys think also. Hopefully you'll put your thoughts in the comments. So, you know, with this face flat against the jaw, same thing with that one there. And I'll get here so it's not washed out. So we're at 0, right? And then right in the middle She goes 10th thou large and then goes back to 0. So see if you guys agree with me or not. I'm thinking that when this thing was cast, either they didn't stress relieve it, or they did stress relieve it but did not get all the stresses out of it. And now, you know, years or decades later, with that bandsaw tension down on it and it's pulling it, some stresses have finally been released, and that's why this thing has kind of moved the way that it has, and maybe explains why the inner bore and the outer face are still running fine. It's just kind of a wet noodle here as it goes along, in certain spots. So leave a comment down below, see if you're thinking the same thing I am. Thanks guys, we'll see you.